Hello, guys. Getting ready to start here and get some invites done and get some shares out.
Hello.
Hey,
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing
You,
good.
s- you sound like you've been busy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Always,
yeah.
always busy.
Yeah.
Looking for, Sally. I know she's on here. Mm,
Oh, that's echoing. That's echoing twice. Wow.
here she is.
Reverberating twice. Hmm. She's there. There she is.
Hey,
There she is. Hi, Sally.
how are
How are
y'all?
you doing?
I'm
I'm
okay.
good. Everything sounds nice and clear right now, but I don't know if artist muted
How
or
about
something.
now?
Or
Was that me?
yeah, it's better. Way better.
Okay.
Yeah.
I never
Yeah.
heard it. I can
Yeah.
hear
It
you.
was. I could hear myself twice.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's weird.
But It's perfect now.
Okay, good.
Waiting on
Yeah.
Tim. He'll be here in a minute.
Yeah,
I'll go ahead and do the Facebook share on that.
I'll share. Hi, Faye. Hi, everybody. Coming over.
Hey, guys. Hey, Faye. Hi, Rooney. Heather. There's some new people. Hi,
Hi.
Eric.
Hi, Eric.
Have y'all seen
Can you
Tim
hear the
yet, or is
TV,
it just
guys?
me?
No, we haven't seen him yet, and I did send him a request as well, so he'll be here.
Yeah, I know
Can
he
you hear
will.
my TV?
Not too bad. It's not too loud.
Oh, good. Okay.
Normally, it comes through louder than you, but right now, I hardly hear it at all. That's good.
Yeah, well, he's got it turned
Hi,
down,
Lily.
so.
Hi, Lily. Did we learn anything new in the studies for tonight?
Oh yeah, we're gonna go backwards a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
That's okay.
yeah, it'll be fine. It'll
Covering every base.
yeah, I tried to, but I found something
Yeah,
different, so I wanted to share it too.
cool.
Just kind of hanging out and giving everybody a few minutes to get here.
I'm tapping the
Yeah, okay.
screen. If everybody coming in would tap the screen, it would help us get some hearts and get more people.
Hi, Faye. Hi, Eric. Everyone else coming in. Lily. I don't see all the names you guys see, but hi,
Where
Lee.
where is Tim? Has anybody checked in with him this afternoon?
Yeah, I was talking to him not too long ago. He should be here.
Okay. Maybe he's eating or something.
Yeah. Hi,
I guess
Mark.
just
Hey,
now
Mark.
checking. Hi, Mark.
There he is. There's Tim. Can you see him?
Yeah, I got him. It was probably like 5 minutes early, I bet, tonight. A little bit.
No, not too bad.
It's okay. Hey, Tim.
Actually, you usually are about 3 minutes or 5 minutes after 7, so.
How you guys doing?
Good.
Good.
You, Tim?
I'm good. Hey,
Did
Faye.
you fin- Did you just finish supper, Tim?
You guys know my eating schedule over here, huh?
Eric, I'm not sure on
Uh,
that. I kind of think that it was directed at the seven angel churches.
Hey, Eric. How you doing, brother?
See?
You said, what are your thoughts on the revelations about John the Elder? Oh, seven tribes? Yeah. No, I think they explained it, didn't they? They said it was for the seven churches, and then they said the seven churches are the seven spirits, like later
Hi,
down in the verses.
Dorothy.
Hello, Dorothy.
Hi, Dorothy. Thought I saw a different name come through there.
Mm-hmm.
I see so many people every time, and ones that are new too. And I don't know if
Maybe
they stay or they go. It's hard to tell the way they do it. You know.
I got to share.
Yeah, I told them we're gonna go backwards and then we're gonna go forwards because I found something else that relates to that floor, and I found it
Okay.
in the scriptures.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I listened to that live twice again, but I was working while I was listening. So, like when you're working, at least when I'm working, I'm not able to absorb it all. I still want to go back and watch it again, where I can, pay more attention. It's just fascinating to me, and it's been right in front of our faces for how many years? You know,
Oh, I know. It's
how
wild,
long
isn't
has
it?
the Vatican been built? I mean, I learned
You
all of
know,
the
Darn.
about the checkerboard floors and the Freemasonry and all that, but the
I think
Vatican.
we didn't know because we weren't asking for his truth. And once you start asking for his truth, it starts to come.
Yeah, Marie.
If you want to believe the world's, you'll get the world's truth.
That's true. Artist Marie is here too. I see her in the chat.
I'll
I don't.
get her.
I don't see her in the to be able to ask her up though.
Yeah, she has to ask. She has to request. I think because she's set to private or something.
Say the last video where we talked about the floor of the Vatican with all the octagon shapes.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember how to turn this screensaver off. I turned on last night.
Uh oh.
No, that's not it.
Hey, Marie.
Shoot,
She's not coming up yet.
I can't remember it. I was waiting for her to request because she always requests so I can hit it. Because I can't ever invite her. I don't know why. There she is.
Hey everyone.
Hopefully, I'll keep fiddling with the screen enough that bubble thing won't come up all the time. I had that on last night because I had my alarm set on my computer. I didn't want it to go dead during the night. Hope everybody's having a good night. Looks like we about got a crowd now. Let's see. We're going to continue with Revelation chapter 2. We covered several of the verses last time, and we're going to backtrack on a couple of things because I found some other stuff I wanted to show y'all. And I actually found it in scripture where it talks about the people that did the circle casting and the calling of the angels. and I didn't even know it was in there because I didn't know what skiva meant. So once you learn these things, it's like it just fell in my lap today when I was looking at something else. So this is crazy. Let's see. All right. I'm hoping this will give y'all a little bit better, where you can see a little bit better. I backed up the screen a little bit. Because last time I did that, it seemed to look better to me. The first thing we're going to talk about is Luke 8 and Matthew 5. In Matthew 5, Jesus is telling us we're the light of the world. And a city on a mountain cannot be hid. Okay, neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but upon a candlestick, that they may shine it to all that are in the house. So let your light shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father who is in heaven. Well, when you read Luke, you get a little bit different thing there. You say it says in Luke 8:15 through 18, but that on good ground, he's talking about that parable where the seeds land on the good ground, and they who are good and perfect have a perfect heart, hearing the words, keep it and bring forth fruit and patience. It's like if we take the word in, we're patient with it, and we keep the words, and we don't just let them go flying back out, then we're going to bring forth more fruit. And I'm seeing our group do now. It's like we're kind of like taking in all the words that Jesus spoke, looking at them very carefully, bringing them forth with patience to everybody to show them what we've seen. He said, now no man lighting a candle covers with a vessel and put it under the bed, but sitteth on a candlestick, that they who come in might see the light. For there is not anything secret that shall not be made manifest, nor hidden that shall not be known and come abroad. Take heed therefore how you hear. For whosoever hath to him shall be given, and whosoever hath not, that also which he thinketh he had shall be taken away from him. So we got to be careful how we hear this stuff. We got to be very careful how we look at it, and try to make sure that its Father used the discernment that he gives us, the Spirit of truth. When we use the Spirit of truth, I don't think we're going to go wrong that way. But I just want to bring that because it says don't hide it under a bushel or stick it under the bed or anything like that, but bring it forth. But bring it forth with patience, because we got to be careful how we bring it forth too. I hope this is making sense. Okay. All right. And this is interesting too. It's like when we were looking at Revelation, we see three different things. When we looked at chapter 1, we saw that the person speaking says that is, that was, and that is to come, or who is, who was, and who is to come. Like in verse 4, when we state, John to the 7 churches which are in Asia, grace unto you and peace from him that is, that was, and that is to come. So that's past tense, present tense, and future tense. He's covering all three tenses. And then he does the same thing in verse 8. He said, "And the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the Lord God." So he's telling you who he is right there. It's the Lord God. It's the one from the Old Testament. Who is, who was, and who is to come. The Almighty. That says it there too. Okay, when you keep reading though, he said, "And I alive and I was dead, and behold, I am living ever and ever, and have the keys of death and of hell." So he has the keys to where? To the underworld. Okay? And when we look in the Old Testament, we see some kind of creepy stuff that kind of makes you think. It's like Proverbs 15:24. The way of life is above to the wise, that he may depart from hell beneath. Because we know that Jesus told us in John 8:23 that we were from beneath, which is katokosmos in Greek, which means the underworld or hell. And he said he was from above. And he said, we are of this world. And he said, I am not of this world. So Jesus is telling us this can't be him because he's not of this world. When we look at Revelation 1:8, that can't be him. Okay. And then another thing in Isaiah 14:9, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee, coming. It stirs up the dead for thee. The chief ones of the earth, it hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. So that's another verse telling us that this is hell. It's bizarre because I didn't even realize what he was saying. It's like I was listening to the other guy's video on chapter 2, and he was talking about how it was past, present, and future. But he didn't go into this part about it being the keys of death and hell. He didn't go into all that. But when we compare it to Jesus' words, which he said to do, then we can see how it interplays. Another thing I didn't think about when we were covering those other verses is 2 Timothy 1:15. Thou knowest this, they all who are in Asia have turned away from me. These churches were Paul's churches. I looked it up there. Every one of them were Paul's. And all these people turned away from Paul. That makes you want to stop and think, why did they turn away from Paul? And I kind of got a feeling Paul was representative of Yahweh with that two-edged sword in his mouth. Because he's kind of like double-minded, but we're going to get into that too. Verse 8. I think we covered this one. And unto the angel of the church of Smyrna write, these things hath the first and the last which was dead and is alive. Okay, it's like, we know that from Isaiah, this first and last is Yahweh, because he said, who hath wrought and done, calling generations from the first. I, Yahweh, the first, and am the first, and with the last I am he. And then he goes on in verse 40, in Isaiah 44:6. Thus says Yahweh, the King of Israel, and his Redeemer, Yahweh of hosts, I am the first and the last, and besides me there is no God. And so I think that's what he was saying in verse 8, also 1:8. And 1:10, we do know that this is the Lord's day, when he actually saw all this stuff happening. All right. We covered that. And this made me suspicious that this is, because it says one like the Son of Man. It wasn't the Son of Man that he was seeing, it was one like him. So it could have been Paul, Okay. Now, this is wild. This is where I found the stuff, okay. We've talked about Acts 19:13 through 20 in other videos about how in Ephesus, which is the first city, that Paul, there were these Jewish exorcists, and they were called vagabonds in English, and they were like adjuring people to denounce the Lord Jesus and swear an oath to the Jesus that Paul taught. Okay? Well, although some of the Ephesians who knew no better may have regarded Paul as a magician, I think he actually was, because Ephesus was widely reputed for being a trade in magic and the need for exorcism and protection against evil spells. And Skiva literally means they're mind readers. And this is the verse I was telling you about. Then some of the itinerant Jewish exorcists undertook to invoke the name of the Lord Jesus over those who had evil spirits, saying, I adjure you by the Jesus whom Paul proclaims. The 7 sons of the Jewish high priest named Sceva were doing this. So it was actually the mind readers, the sons of the mind reader. And like I said, Ephesus had one of those reputations as being widespread for magic use. According to the magical theory, exorcists could coerce a deity or a spirit to do their will by invoking its name. And exorcists sometimes adjured the spirit, which is to swear an oath to the spirit. Ancient magical texts show many exorcists were Jewish or drew on some knowledge of Judaism, and these texts include the possible permutation of vows um, for expelling demons. This I got out of Josephus's Jewish Iniquities, 847, 8.47, if you want to look it up. Some later ancient magical texts invoke the name of Jesus alongside other formulas, recognizing, as do the exorcist, in this narrative its efficiency when employed with Christians to expel demons. And Skiva, when you actually look at the name, is a Latin name, and although the Judeans used high priests, it's loosely for the highest members of the priestly aristocrat. So it was a word reserved for like the high aristocrats, um, and it was a title they appropriated for themselves. Why in Diaspora it says, because Jewish chief priests would be thought to have access to the sacred name and hidden names, especially of the supreme God, they were thought to wield great power in magical circles. See, it's talking about how they used the circle, like I told you. Skiva is probably the highly reputed in those circles with sons, and it could also mean they were part of the Skiva Guild, although it's probably meant literally. So it's telling you that they used the magic circle and that they knew how to invoke and they knew how to use the name of the supreme God to do it. And I don't know if y'all remember me telling you that they invoked the names, and whoever was invoking brought forth the supreme God into the circle. Okay, let's see. And here is the circle I was talking about, and it's laid out in a magical formula. And I found a great picture by accident. You know how I told you it was hard to find a picture? Let's see if I can blow that up a hair. You can see the floor a lot better in that one. I don't know, that may have been too big. But it is so much like that sigil, that invoking sigil, it's not even funny. I mean, even if you overlay, you could overlay the pentagram in the middle too. Of course, being an artist, I can see that. But I knew there was something weird. When I first saw this floor, I even thought about things like, is it a landing pad for a UFO or something? Yeah, I know that sounds crazy, but it's just it's so direct and it's so intentional. I mean, every square in that is intentionally the way it is for a reason. Okay. And then it says in Acts 19:15, but the evil spirit answered them, Jesus I know, and Paul I recognize, but who are you? And the man in whom was the evil spirit leaped on them, mastered all of them, and overpowered them, and they fled out of that house naked and wounded. And this became known to all the residents of Ephesus, both Jews and Greeks, and fear fell upon them all. And the name of the Lord Jesus was extolled. So it's like this evil spirit knew the Jesus that Paul was teaching. And he recognized that, and he also recognized Paul. That's kind of creepy. Okay. And it says spirits behind the oracles could grant recognition for inquirers. These spirits instead insult the exorcist. Ancient literature reports that demons were typically unimpressed with orders of those who gave them that had no power over them. So, whoever this evil spirit was, they had no power over whoever this evil spirit was. And when we go on and read 19, verse 26 through and 27, and then 35, we see some more interesting stuff. And it says, "And you see and hear that this Paul by persuasion hath drawn away a great multitude." So he's drawn away a bunch of people, not only of Ephesus, but almost all of Asia, saying there are not gods and are made by hands. Okay? And that not only this, our craft is in danger. Their craft is in danger. That's a weird word to use. To be set as naught, but also the temple of the great Diana shall be reputed for nothing. Yea, her majesty shall begin to be destroyed from all Asia and from the world worshipped. And then in 35 it goes down and it says, "And when the town clerk had appeased the people, he said, Ye men of Ephesus, what man is there that knoweth not how the city of Ephesus is a worshipper of the great goddess Diana, and the image which fell down from Jupiter?" And we know Jupiter is actually Yahweh. So it's like they're talking about Yahweh and his cohort is what they're talking about. And I went to Abram Publishing to like concrete look at that, and they agreed with what I have, the same thing, that Yahweh is also the same person they're talking about in that verse. Let's see, I think it's in this next one, but this is their verse analysis, and it says the objective depotes. Okay, the objective depotes, which combines the dios and the verb pathma, meaning to employ wings, to fly and thus see very far, and to cover, thus protect, or to the verb pipto, meaning to fall. This denotes someone both divine and falling, having fallen, and appears to have been used for sacred objects, and apparently come falling out of the sky. Apparently the link between the divine and the act of falling was not uncommon in the old world, and the familiar name Yahweh also combines the two. Isn't that something? So they're talking about Yahweh, but in a roundabout way that we don't see it. So these little skeeva dudes were doing the same thing that I showed you on the floor. They were casting the magic circle and doing all this witchcraft to exorcise these people, and they were calling these people crazy because they were worshiping Jesus, making them denounce that Jesus and swearing an oath to the Jesus that Paul taught. And then Paul later on goes on to say, if anybody teach a different Jesus than the one I teach, let them be accursed. And you know something like that did not come from Jesus Barabbas. There's no way. He didn't curse anybody. And when you look at Acts 19:13, this is really bizarre because I thought I was going crazy, man. Every time I put this in there, in the one of the AI, translators, when I put the word of the Jesus in there, it comes out curse him. I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, where is that coming from? So I went ahead and tried it in a couple more. Let me see if I can scroll this without going too far. There it is. And I got it in the Google Translator and in another one up here. I think this was Bing. And it says curse him. It's crazy. And what I got in the mechanical was, but to attempt to undertake with a certain one of the Judean exorcists, they name upon them having an evil spirit the name of Master Jesus, saying, you guys swear in him, the Jesus being that Paul preaches. It's like they wanted him to swear by the one that Paul was preaching. And it gets more and more interesting. It's like because right behind the word Jesus is the word being or creature in Greek. And so they're actually talking about the creature that Paul was teaching. Oh, shoot. Did it go too far? Oh, no, it didn't. All right. Okay, in 19 is not translated correctly at all. Um, I was looking at it and it was like, it says, but these capable, let me read the English first, and maybe that'll help. Many of them which use the curious arts, and that's magical arts or practices in Greek, bought their books together and burned them before all. And they counted the price of them and found it to be 50,000 pieces of silver. Okay, when I went to translate that, I was in shock because this is what I got. But these capable of strange magical arts or practices co-authored Bibles day by day in front of the fire, um, in the sight of all, and they voted on the price and obtained 5 myriads of silver. And that word, it's like by way of a fire. It's like by way of the light of the fire is what the word meant. It didn't mean they threw them in the fire. So they were actually making these books and selling them and counting the amount of silver they were getting. Because I thought to myself, why would they want to know about the amount if they're burning them? You know, it's like, it's crazy. Okay. And this is the word for magical arts and sorcery that they used. And it specifically says here um, that it was to be used in Acts 19:19, but then they just put curious arts. They did not put magical arts or sorcery. So they changed that up too. And Thayer got the same thing. And I think that was from Strong's where I got the other one, but it's G4021 if you want to look it up. Let's see. This was pretty similar to verse 9. It says, I know your works and the affliction and distress or tribulation, also the poverty or destitution, but you are rich. The blasphemy of those calling themselves Jews, but they are but of the synagogue of Satan. That is very similar to what they have in our English version, what I got in that. Let's see. And then that was verse 9. Verse 10 is very similar to what I got to. What we have in the English is, fear none of those which thou shalt suffer. Behold, and the devil shall cast some of you into the prison, and ye may be tried, and ye have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful until death, and I will give thee the crown of life. And what I got was, no one fear, have in mind, you are going to suffer. Behold, it comes, the devil will throw you away into prison. You will be tempted and see sadness or tribulation 10 days. Be faithful unto death, and I will give thee the crown of life. So what I got was very, very similar. All right. And this is 1 Corinthians 5:3. And this basically, Paul is saying, for I indeed, as being absent to the body and present to the spirit, have already judged as being present him who so wrought this thing. In the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, ye being gathered together, also my spirit, with the power of our Lord Jesus Christ, to deliver up such a one to Satan, or the adversary, for the destruction of the flesh, that the spirit may be saved in the day of the Lord. So this is direct correlation to Revelation, because he's talking about delivering people up to Satan for destruction of the flesh, so they will be saved on the day of the Lord, the day that John was seeing this. And he said, Not good your glorying. Have ye known that little leaven, the whole lump doth leaven? He said, Clean out therefore the old leaven, that ye might have new lump, accordingly as you are unleavened. For as our Passover for us was the sacrificed Christ. So he's likening the Passover to to Christ being a sacrifice. And Jesus called himself a ransom or a payment. He never called himself a sacrifice that I know of. And it's really strange because um, they twisted up this verse really bad because they're like some of the verses say the day of the Lord Jesus, and other verses say the day of the Lord. It's like they were trying to cover something up there. They didn't want you to know that Paul was talking about the day of the Lord. I thought that was strange. That's verse uh, 5:5 if you're looking it up. I think it's Corinthians 5:5. 1 Corinthians 5:5. Okay, let me look at this a second, make sure what I was. Oh, here's another place where the demons recognize Jesus as the Christ. I think this was JC. Luke 4:38. And having risen out of the synagogue, he entered into the house of Simon. And the mother-in-law of Simon was pressed with a great fever, and they asked him about her. And having stood over her, he rebuked the fever, and he left her, and presently having risen, she was ministering to them. And all them setting of the sun, all many who had ailments with a manifold of sickness brought unto him, and he each one of them his hands having put did heal them. And the demons were coming forth from many, crying out and saying, Thou art the Christ, the Son of God. And rebuking, he did not suffer them to speak, because they knew him to be the Christ. And when the day he departed, he went into the desert place, and we know that's where Jesus is tempted is in the desert place. And people sought him and came unto him, and stayed him, and he should not depart from them. And he said unto them, I must preach the kingdom of God to the other cities also, for therefore I was sent. And he preached in the synagogues of Galilee. So this is totally different than the other one we had that talks. It's because I think that the demons knew him because he was the Christ one. And I think they've tried to confuse which one Paul was teaching and which one John was teaching. Because it says that we've got two different verses here. We've got Galatians 6:17, and it's like it reads, they only put Jesus on it in a lot of places, and it reads in the manuscript, Lord Jesus Christ. It says, let me make sure I get it right. Oh, shoot. I'll have to put it down here so I can read it. Finally, let no one give me trouble, for I bear on my body the marks of Jesus. Okay, but the actual Codex Sinaiticus says Lord Jesus Christ. And that word for bother me means in buying and selling. So Paul was saying in buying and selling, don't anybody have a problem with me because I've got the marks of Christ, basically. All right, then we have another verse where they try to mess things up, and that's John 1:17. For the law was given through Moses, and grace and truth came through Jesus. And what we have in English is Jesus Christ, but when you look at the manuscripts, the word Christ is not there. And you see this a lot of times. You see it written in between. You see that it's not even there. It's like they were pushing this Christ word. This is just another slide where I was looking at the words again. I do it, I do a bunch. Okay, and this is verse 11. And it says, He having ear, listen to the Spirit saying to the churches, He does not conquer. No wrong by death of the body of the second, the other of two. So basically, I don't think this is saying the same thing we have in English. Because we have, He hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit has said unto the churches. He has overcome shall not be hurt of by the second death. Okay? And when I threw it in the translator, I'm like, am I losing my mind? And what I got in there is, I have heard what the Spirit says to the churches. The victor has not wronged by the death of the second. And that word for second, when I looked it up, means the second, the other of two. So it's talking about two different ones. I mean, this is complicated. This is Revelation 2:11 if you want to look it up. But if you want to look up the word by word, this is something you really, really need to look at because it's talking about two of them, I think. And I checked it in two more translators. He is not wronged by the death of the second. And here's another one I have heard what the Spirit says to the churches. The victor was not wronged by the death of the second. So who's the victor? All right. And then in verse 12 we have, And to the angel of the church of Pergamos, write these things, says the one that has the sharp sword with the two edges. Okay, this was wild. When I looked up the words, the word for the sword is Ramphia, I think is how you pronounce it. And a Ramphia originally was a thunderbolt. And it can also mean fire from the sky, and it was considered the weapon of a deity, and also could refer to lightning. So it can also have another meaning by the descriptive adverb, the one they use, dystamos, means having a double mouth as a river, like a double-sided mouth, like speaking out of both sides of your mouth. But it primarily was used for sword or weapon. But I thought that was interesting because I wasn't expecting to see that stuff about the fire from the sky, because that's Yahweh stuff, or lightning, because he's known as the God of the, he calls, like Elijah and his witnesses call down fire from heaven, and then Jesus told James and John when they went to do that, they didn't know what kind of spirit they had, and he rebuked them. But Yahweh's the one that calling down fire all the time. Alrighty, let's see. And lo and behold, there's an area called Perga just north of Rome in Italy. And when I looked that up, this is what I found. It's like, it was one of the 12 Confederate cities of Etruria. And, Rome is called the Eternal City. And I believe Rome is Jerusalem. And Etruria was a territory that was divided into 12 parts, just like Yahweh divided the 12 tribe parts of Israel. And so many things are so closely, like the standard is the lion with the crown, like David, the Lion of Judah. And they were known also for using sling weapons with the rock bullets, like David was. And they found several of those in that area also. And their temple was to Vulcan and Juno. And in Star Trek, when Spock does that weird hand sign where he splits his fingers, that's a Jewish symbol for Vulcan. So the Kabbalists are tied to Vulcan too. And Juno is the Shanika that the women still bake cakes to in Israel. She's the Queen of Heaven. It's all tied together. Let's see. And also, this is funny. I go and looking at Perga, and according to the Catholic tradition, Saint Peter was born in this region. It's in the area of Umbra in Italy, and specifically near Perga, it says. So the one that I think was set up in the Catholic churches also was born in this area, according to their traditions. I hadn't found anything other than their writing that says that, though. All right, and the popes wear this thing here. Um, it's called a pallium, and it's like a gold sash. This is why I told you we're gonna go backwards a little bit because I missed this when I was doing the chapter 1 for y'all. So I just wanted to show it to you before I finish up tonight. But the pallia was like it said. He had a. It said, and in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like the Son of Man, clothed in a garment down to his foot, and girded around the paps with a golden girdle. Well, this pallium looks like a girdle, and it's known to be. Um, they say its origin is traceable to the mantle of Saint Peter, so it goes all the way back to Saint Peter. And today, like the one Pope Francis has on in that picture is white, but the one on the left is an ancient one, and it was golden. So that's pretty interesting too. And I just missed that they had the. I didn't see anything the first time I looked at this about the girdle, but then I was noticing this when I was looking at something else. And I said, "Oh, that's the girdle thing." Okay. Mm, all right. I think that's where we. Let's see. I think that's where I stop for tonight. I think that's enough anyway. How long have I been talking? Oh yeah, 45 minutes. I think. I'm sorry I go on. It's like this is a lot to cover because I do research
Don't be
deep.
sorry. It's great.
Yeah. But we're going to
Yeah.
stop there and let people have questions and stuff and come up and talk about things because this is a lot to talk about.
Sounds good.
Where's the guy in the comments? What was his name? Keith.
He's not here. I noticed that he's gone. He tried to
He
come.
didn't stick around after I said he had to wait. So
Oh, well.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he wanted to listen and contribute rather than just add his own thing. So we'll just if he wants to come back, he'll be back.
Yeah. If you're listening, baby,
Anyone
come back.
else? Yeah. Anyone else want to come up?
No comments or questions. You know, I always got the YouTube ones on standby.
Yeah, heathens are allowed. I'll allow a heathen up. Yes, for sure.
Oh.
Atheist, yep.
Yes. We would like to hear from you, uh, sir. I can't see.
Cypress.
Oh,
Cypress.
I couldn't tell if it was a male or female. I was trying.
Oh, hard to tell.
Yeah. Let me see if I can shoot him an invite and maybe if I can see him in there. Oh, there he is. Yeah. If there's anybody else down there that might want to come up, consider it. I'm gonna pull up the YouTube questions just in case, and I have a decent amount from Nikki as well.
Word.
Could
Hey,
y'all see?
Cypher.
Could y'all see a little
Yeah,
bit better
Cypress
with
said.
me backing this away from the monitor some? Did that help?
Yeah, it was off a little bit to the one side, but it's okay. But Cypress is there now.
Okay. Hi, Cypress. How you doing?
I'm good. It's Friday, so I'm good.
Yeah, this is truth, isn't it?
It's
All
just 2 days closer to Monday, but other than
right.
that, I'm good.
That's great.
What are y'all talking about tonight? Oh yeah. What's up? What's up? What are y'all
Revelation
talking about
2.
tonight? Revelations chapter 2, verse what?
Oh, we're getting down there pretty much now. We're on Pergama.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Y'all better be careful here,
Praying the sinner's prayer.
Are you up here to actually chat, or are you just kind of trolling us?
I don't really know. You just invited me. You tell me what you want me to do.
Did you watch any of the video, or did you just happen to pop in right before you came up?
Oh, I just hopped in. Like I was scrolling and scrolling and scrolling.
Are you an
I
atheist?
asked if this was a safe place for heathens to stay.
It's a safe place if you want to ask some questions. Are you atheist?
Yeah, I'm atheist.
You are.
Did you grow up that way? Like, were your parents religious at all?
I could go around and around here. Which version do you want me to give you?
The truth.
The truth.
Truth? All right. They tried, sure, to be Christian. I would say that.
I think that's fair. I think a lot of us try to be Christian as well, or try to be whatever our religion or faith is. But I was just gonna ask, did that turn you off from a religion or faith in the Creator?
My parents?
Yeah, like their failure to
No,
be.
they just, they did the whole typical, you know, neighborly thing, like, well, I'm gonna one up you, I'll one up you, blah blah blah. It's just a bunch of BS
Oh,
for
you
me.
felt like it was mostly ego and pride and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I could agree with that too.
that's how it was whenever I was growing up. But I don't know. I didn't really care about it.
What makes you think there's no God?
Can it be substantiated?
Can you substantiate there isn't one?
Wait, what? That's the weirdest question I've ever been asked. Like, what do you mean? There, I could go outside and be like, "Hey God, substantiate yourself," or "Hey God, show yourself. Where are you at?" And crickets, nothing. What do you mean? Like, there's that's the weirdest question.
Can you prove there isn't one?
There isn't one. What do you mean? I mean, go outside and like literally say, "Hey God, show yourself," and you're gonna get crickets.
Maybe.
So I'm not the Christian. You guys are the Christians.
I'm not
You
a
have
Christian
We're not
either.
Christians. None of us are
Okay, well,
Christians.
I don't know. I guess I'm assuming. I mean, shit. I joined in the wrong room here. I don't know who's Christian
Yep.
or who's theist. Okay, theist. Let's go with that. Theist. You can believe in any god. Doesn't matter.
We don't. That's not what we are either. We actually believe in the word of Jesus Barabbas, the Son of the Father.
So like
We don't
the
believe
Most
in. We
High?
don't believe in what the world has said. Pardon?
So like there's like the Most High on your guys' end here.
No. There's the Father in heaven, the Creator, and then His Son, Jesus Barabbas.
Uh huh.
And there are two Jesuses. The one that the Roman Catholic Church, the Roman Empire, has been giving us for all these years, the Christ, who our Jesus Barabbas said not to call him, and they took the negating particles out of the Bible. So when you read it, you read, "I am the Christ," but what it really said was, "I am not the Christ." And this is the big deception that's been going on, is that
It
they've
is a
been
deception
trying to
because
make people.
literally Jesus said he is not a man in John 8:40, or he is just a man.
That's
in John
right.
8:40. It
That
has
was
to
the
be a
Christ.
deception.
Yeah,
There
Jesus
was
Barabbas was not. Sorry, go ahead, Gona.
there was two of them. One of them was a monogene,
Yeah.
and the other was a firstborn. A monogene is like a single one of a kind, and he said he was sent 40 times. Um, it's unique, one of a kind, has no brothers and sisters. Then you've got the Jewish narrative that was spun around everything, and they had one born of Mary, which they called a firstborn. A firstborn has two parents and has brothers and sisters. So you've got two different Jesuses talking in the text. Like you've got one that says that he wished that things were. He came to set the world on fire. He wished it was already lit. then you have the other one that says, like, when James and John wanted to call fire down from heaven, he rebuked them and told them they didn't know what kind of spirit they were from. But people don't see it because nobody's ever talked about there being two of them in the text.
Sorry, I'll mute whenever you guys are talking. Yeah, that's wild to me because Numbers 23:19, Hosea 11:9, Malachi 3:6. I mean, Jesus or God always said that He is not a man.
Well, we believe the Old Testament deity is the devil himself.
So you guys believe that Jesus is Lucifer? Jesus is the devil?
We believe that Yahweh is the devil.
Yahweh
There's
is the
two
devil?
Jesus. We believe that Jesus Christ is the devil. There's two Jesuses, like the host just explained. There's Jesus the Christ, who stole the name of Jesus, our true Father, and that's who the world is worshiping, is the Christ.
No, I believe the same thing, like Isaiah 14:12, Revelation 22:16, 2 Peter 1:19, when it talks about all the morning stars. I got you.
That morning star.
Yep.
I think they're trying to shut us down, guys.
Look. Here I am, an
Why you
atheist,
say
well
that?
versed.
I just had to do that puzzle thing 5 times to keep us from going dead.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, it kept saying unable to verify, unable to verify.
That's crazy.
It is. It's just nuts. And that's supposed to come up if you're not active. We are active and talking and doing.
Wow.
Yeah. Cypress, do you see what we're saying? Do you see how we're not like the churches? We're not like religion.
Yeah, I just don't get the whole second Jesus thing. I mean that's news to me, but like as
Well,
far
it
as
actually
like,
has it right in
huh?
the scriptures. It actually has it. Like if you know that the Creator and the Old Testament God are two different personalities. They're two different characters.
Oh, I know they are.
One, and once you realize they're two different characters, and then you listen to what Jesus said, you can separate the two Jesuses by the character as well, because the Father says what his character is, and he says he doesn't change. But
Yeah,
yet,
back
the
when I
Old
was
Testament,
like actively seeking. I would say this. This is like me being for real, for real. I'm not like just an atheist schmuck. Okay, but whenever I was actively seeking like this Most High God, my favorite verse in the Bible would bar none had to have been Second Chronicles 7:14, because Second Chronicles 7:14 it it's with the Old Testament, but as well as it has nothing. I don't know. I can't really put my finger on it, but that verse is literally my favorite verse out of the Bible, because that
what's the
to
verse
me would
say? Because
be
I can't think of what the verse is. What does the verse say?
it's anyone who seeks my face. I don't remember, like I can't remember it like verbatimly because it's been a minute. It's been like 3 years since I've like
Yeah,
read
that's
that
okay. I don't
verse.
know them off by heart either.
But yeah, if my people seek my face, then I will turn from, I don't know, something like that. I don't know. Somebody's got to have it. I'll look it up, I guess.
Somebody pull it up
What,
there.
uh,
What
what,
is
what
it?
was the
Second
verse?
Chronicles. Second Chronicles.
Yeah, Second
What was
Chronicles
it,
7.
Cypress?
Second Chronicles 7:14.
Okay, and we'll
Without me
just kind
being
of see what it
an
says.
atheist and knowing what I know about like Jesus being Lucifer and all the stuff and like everything that I had studied, just as well as you lovely people have studied, Second Chronicles 7:14 would have been my favorite verse in the Bible. Without being what I
Okay,
am
let's
now.
just see what it says. 14.
I found it. If my people which are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land.
There you go. You need no savior. There is no savior needed. Period. There's no Jesus. You don't need one. No Jesus. Right there. There you go.
Yahweh is
Well,
never.
to me, that's Paul, is it not? Is that not Paul? That who wrote Chronicles? Yeah, Paul, and we kind of
No,
look at Paul
Chronicles.
as
I thought
pardon?
No, that's
Chronicles
Old
was Old
Testament.
Testament.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Old
That's
Testament.
Old
You guys are
Testament.
thinking of
Corinthians.
Corinthians.
Not
Oh, that's
Paul.
Old
So
Testament,
But then
right?
you have
Okay,
other
that's
verses
right.
where Joshua tells them that Yahweh is a jealous God and he will not forgive their sins, and they still swear an oath to him anyway. And
yeah,
that's
he
in the
doesn't keep his
Joshua.
promises.
Uh-huh.
No, to me, that's not Yahweh. That's not the Yahweh that you guys are hating on. That's actually the Most High.
The Bible, though,
It says it's Yahweh though.
the Bible is written by Yahweh. It is not our Father's book. It's Yahweh's book. It's His story, and
So,
the
who wrote the
Father.
Book of Enoch?
One of Yahweh's
That would
prophets.
be
Jesus
Yahweh's,
said
yeah.
that. Jesus said everyone that came before him was a thief and a liar.
Yeah,
That
but
includes
who wrote
every.
the Book of Enoch then?
That's what I'm getting to. All the prophets that's in the Bible, all the words that they wrote down to record for us, they are thieves and liars.
Okay,
Cyprus.
so who actually
No
wrote?
one has ever,
They
no one has ever seen or heard the Father, but the Old Testament says that they've seen him. Different people have talked to him, but our Father
yeah.
says that no one, or Jesus says that no one has ever seen the Father
This
or
is the
heard his
verse I was
voice except
talking
for
about.
Jesus.
It's Joshua 24:19, and Joshua said unto the people, Ye cannot serve Yahweh, for he is a holy God, he is jealous God. He will not forgive your transgressions nor your sins. If you forsake Yahweh and serve strange gods, he will turn and do you to hurt and consume you. After that he has done he hath done you good. And the people said unto Joshua, Nay, we will serve Yahweh. And then Joshua goes on to tell them that Joshua said to them, Unto the people, ye witness against yourselves that you have chosen um, Yahweh to serve him. And they said, We witness. And then now for put away the strange gods which are among you, and incline your heart into Yahweh the God of Israel. And the people said unto Joshua, Yahweh our God we will serve and obey his voice. And Joshua made a covenant with the people that day, and set them a statute and ordinance in Shechem. So he told them they were witnessing against themselves that he wasn't going to forgive their sins. And they swore an oath to him anyway. And Jesus said, Swear no oaths.
Oh, I know.
That's what I mean. It's like a double-minded person in the Old Testament too.
Yeah, he never fulfills his promises. He promised that they were going to make it to the promised land, and only two out of what, like 2 million, made it. Two people out of 2 million actually got to see the promised land. So
Cypress, it sounds like you're pretty well studied and you know the Bible. What can I ask? Like, what caused you to, kind of deny the Father, and like what makes you call yourself an atheist?
Well, like describe father though. Like say that. Like I mean, I don't know. I'm not trying to say like I'm
I was
not
gonna
demanding
say,
it out of you, but like what do you mean by father?
he doesn't know Father. He knows Yahweh, and
Yeah.
Well, I know Yahweh, and then I also know I know about like whenever I read all the non-canonical books, I know about the Most High. I know that, but I don't
what's his
know
characteristics?
what the Most High's characteristics.
Yes.
Characteristics. I mean,
Like, what's his nature?
I know that's what I'm saying. He's not all loving. He's not all powerful. He can't be. He can't be everywhere all the time. I mean, because I can call him out. I can call out all the characteristics from him, even whenever I read all the non-canonical books. Like you still make mistakes, Most High. Like what are you talking about? you're all knowing, all powerful. You know what I mean? Like you can't have a glass jar of jelly beans and then relinquish one of those jelly beans to another character and say the fact that like you have all the you have all the power over all the jelly beans, but you just relinquished all the power or your power over one jelly bean. What do you mean? You're not all powerful. And I'm talking about like certain things that he ever did in the non-canonical books. Like, and I'm referencing as a jelly bean, whatever. I'm just making it like plain as day. But there's not a God out there that should, and would do that.
Well,
Cypress,
this is the thing.
what would you say, Cypress? What would you say if you heard that we don't think that other than Jesus's words, and you have to separate the two Jesuses, but other than Jesus's words, there's not a lot of our Father in the Bible. So other than Jesus's
I
words,
know
you
there's
don't
not
even
a lot
really
of
know
it.
who he is. But Jesus tells us who he is. And he is the Father, and he is the character of the Father. And once you understand that, you can separate the Old Testament God, the one that we don't want to believe in him as a God because he does such horrible things. He's dualistic. He's like double-minded, and he's like bipolar. And no wonder,
He's crazy. Like the Yahweh of the
Absolutely.
Bible is absolutely ridiculous. Like Jeremiah 19:9.
Absolutely.
And cannibalism.
And we don't believe in
Psalms
him. We don't believe
137:9
he's the
and
God.
bashing babies' heads over rocks. Like that is
Exactly.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's right.
I
And
think
that's
the
why
issue
we don't
is-
believe that.
That's not our
think-
Father.
I think what Cypress is
Yeah.
saying is that he agrees that Yahweh is not the Most High, but he feels like the Most High is the Most High. So I was trying to get at the character of the Most High, because the character of who we worship, or at least let me speak for myself, is life. That's his character. That's his nature. That's his essence.
Yeah, but
That's
I
his
don't
spirit.
know that, man. That's what I'm saying. Like,
no,
I've
I-
read so much and I've studied so much of all of this that I don't know.
I
I don't know what
understand
the
that.
Most
I'm
High
not-
would actually be. All
I'm
I
not-
know is that what would it be? It would be second. It would be the second book of Enoch, chapter 20, verse 3. Actually tells you who the Most High is, and his name is Aravat.
Cypress. But I'm not saying this as if I expected you to know. I'm telling you, I'm introducing Tim to you. So well, I'm trying to say is that the one I consider is the Most High. I'll give him that title. But the one I consider is that that deity, his nature is life. And when I look at the things that quote unquote the Most High have done in the scriptures and the extra biblical scriptures, he does not fit that character either.
Aravat?
All the ones from the Apocrypha, everything from the Old Testament, everything from the books of Adam and Eve, all of it. The Nag Hammadi.
I would totally agree with you.
So
To me,
if they don't fit that character,
it seems
I
like
think they're
it seems like
lesser.
it seems like a fan fiction. Like it's no different than the Avengers or a Harry Potter book. All of it.
I think what it is it's Yahweh trying to take credit and trying to be. He said he wants to be like the quote
Well,
unquote
even in the
Most High.
Apocrypha, there's what, 2 Adams?
Not that I know of. Maybe I missed
Yeah, there's
that.
2 Adams. There's
I think there is. I think we heard that. Yeah.
there's 2
There is
Adams.
something about. We got to remember, like, we think that there's even 2 creation stories, right?
There is, and that would be in First Genesis 1:27, and then Genesis 2:7. That's even in
Right,
just
so
the
there-
Bible right now.
Yeah,
There's
so
two creation accounts.
that's another one right there, Cypress.
Yeah.
Not
So
stories. There's 2 creation accounts in just the Bible. Just the Bible alone.
Right.
That's another point right there,
Yeah, but
Cypress. Because sorry, go ahead, Ellen.
No, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say that that's another point right there, because in Genesis 1, the real Father created with his voice, while in Genesis 2, Yahweh created with his hand. He formed with his hands and with what was already created.
Right, that's what I'm saying. There's two. That's a contradiction. Like,
Yeah,
wait a minute. So the
not a
Most High,
contradiction.
like, configured, or this Most High God, like, figured. Oh, wait, I formed something with just my mouth. You know what I mean? Let us create man and male and female with just my words, and then I'm gonna form something from the dust of the ground, and I'm gonna call him Adam. And then there's the third creation, which is taken a form of the male out of his rib. That's crazy. So how many
See,
times do you
Jesus
need to
said
create
that
something?
was talking to the Jews, and he told them they were of their father the devil, and he was an unaliver and a liar from the Genesis. When he spoke of a lie, and the truth was not in him. So he was telling them, what you're worshiping is evil.
Yeah, and even in Yahweh's own law, he says two or three
Yeah, no, I
witnesses.
totally agree with you. That's Matthew, what, chapter 13?
No, John 8.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's John 8, and then that's verse Luke 16, right? So how that's a contradiction in itself. It's John 8:39 through 44, and then Luke 16, I think it's 22 through
That's the
25.
two different Jesuses.
Yeah,
That's what you're seeing.
yeah. So how is that? What is that? That makes no sense to me.
Well, that's
We're
what
trying to
this,
help it make sense.
yeah, that's what we're trying to do, Cypress, is we're trying to point out, like you've mentioned a lot of the discrepancies. Like what we're trying to show is who the true Father is.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be like, some pro Bible person. Blah. I
you're good.
studied for 26 years.
You
we
studied, you can tell.
We
I
can
studied.
tell.
I studied the Bible and all the non-canonical books for
We
26
can
years.
tell. We can tell.
A
So
lot
I
of
mean,
people
I think
see
you
all this
actually are
and they
doing
throw it
great.
out.
You just,
They just
yeah.
throw out the whole thing instead of really
Yeah,
seeing.
like this is bullshit. All of this is bullshit. I'm sorry, I'm not cussing. Sorry, TikTok
But if
moderators, whatever.
But you actually see more than the average person that we're trying to get to. You actually see more. You just haven't seen the two Jesuses, so the two characters, and then once you see that, you're gonna go wow, because everything stands out to you. You should almost go to artists' YouTube page, which is called Scriptural Truth, and I'll put a link down below. But if you go there, she's got some videos. Like she's got one that's called Jesus Barabbas, or Jesus called the Christ. There's several, but that one there would answer a lot of your questions, or at least give you something to understand what we're talking about. She's
It's
got
funny though.
tons of information.
I have a friend of mine. His name, whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna include him just for keepsake. But he's always talked to me. He's like, Jesus is Barabbas. Has to be. Like the actual Jesus has to be Barabbas.
The real one was Barabbas.
Yes.
And they dropped a negating particle to make him look like a murderer, but he was the real one.
And me and him have had many conversations about that, to where I'm sitting here saying to him, I'm like, yes, you're right. The real Jesus textually has to be Barabbas. Now I know, and he knows this. He knows that, like, I think it's all BS, but he knows my information, or well, my credentials and like how much I know and my studies. He gets that, but he's also like, how do you not see this? And I'm like, I don't, what are you talking about? I don't not see this. I see the fact that, like, Jesus is Barabbas 100%. I've even told you that because of the fact that he has to be Barabbas. I've already told you that. Like, that was like my first conversation with him. He was like, yeah, well, Cypress, shit, you're all right.
Well, that's great that you knew that. That's a real heads up on a lot of people. But you might check that video out, because it's actually got so much proof. Like, she literally does the studies to show you where in the Bible and how she goes back to the Greek language, the original Greek language, and
I've
she can
proved to people
actually.
that like Lucifer is Nicodemus. There's not a doubt in my mind that Nicodemus is Lucifer. 100%. And that same Jesus in Revelation is Nicodemus. 100%.
We
There's no
we
there's
actually
no
think
there's no
it's
getting
James the
around it.
Just.
Huh?
We actually think that it's James. Is it Paul? Simon? No, sorry, it's Peter. Simon Peter. Um, and that James the Just is the Christ.
Cypress, if you know all this stuff and you know all the deception involved with it, why are you atheist again?
I've just never gotten anything from this God you guys are ever talking about or what. I'm not saying you guys because you're a different group. Like shit, I honestly did not know what I was getting myself into tonight. Like actually joining,
That's good.
I thought I was literally going to talk to like every other Christian that is on this app.
No,
No, we're not.
And so, I have done myself a disservice here, but not really.
no,
Honestly,
that's good you've come in.
I'm honestly like kind of like glad that I joined. To
We
be
are
to,
too.
Yeah,
to
I'm
be
glad you
fair,
came
to be
too.
fair, I'm glad I've joined.
Yeah, that's great.
But Father
And
never
I'm not
shows
just
you
kicked
anything.
because literally like all these other no, I'm
Yeah.
telling you, all these other like baby Christians that don't know nothing about any of the text. They don't know nothing. They always kick me because I'm like, why are you kicking me? Or they mute me. And I'm like, figures. You guys don't know nothing. They don't know nothing. Not you guys, but they don't know. Those typical people that have never studied and studied, and I'm talking about like studied the books, all of them. They always kick me. But anyways, I digress. Yeah, I did not know I was getting into this. And
Cypress,
the
Let's
original
see,
don't troll
subject
them
is
Cypress.
when you
Tim.
go into their lives. Don't troll them. That might help.
Think
I'm
about
not
this,
trying. I'm not
Cypress.
trying. No, honestly, I'm not trolling anybody. I'm honestly like whenever I go onto their lives, I'm literally asking them the same questions that I'm asking you guys, or like the questions that you guys are asking me. I ask them, and I look like, and they make me look like I'm the fool when really they know nothing.
Yeah, Cypress, but think about this tonight. Father never speaks to you? Are you sure about that?
It sounds like he does.
I think
Oh, it
he's been
sure
speaking to
does.
you tonight. He
Hmm.
threw you into a situation where you had to hear other people that have seen what you've seen to let you know that, hey, you may be right.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
agree.
Maybe I'm a nerd. I want to know if this is real.
It is
It's
real.
real.
And I want
That's
to know.
exactly what all of us wanted to know,
Yeah.
Cypress. Every one of us in here
Well,
wanted to know the
I've
same
studied,
thing.
studied, studied. Like more than most. I did my diligence like for 28 years. I
Well, maybe it's
studied
going to pay
everything.
off.
Like I looked like the crazy person in my garage because
We all look
I literally
crazy.
had my
Yeah,
garage
I know.
wall
Yeah.
filled of scriptures. Like people were like,
Yeah,
people literally looked at me like I was crazy because I told them I was like, oh no, Jesus, literally 100%. I can prove it to you. He is Lucifer, 100%. I can literally prove to you that Jesus is Lucifer. But I don't know for sure if there's two Jesuses, but I'm pretty sure that the real Jesus is Barabbas.
The real Jesus
yeah.
is Barabbas, and Lucifer is the Christ. You're right. So, and you said that Father doesn't talk to you, but he led you onto this channel. And if you're willing to take a little bit of time, like Aylin said, and watch a couple of the videos that artists put out, I think it'll be really clear for you because we all got to the point of where you are, and we all got to that point of like, Father, this isn't making sense. Like, I just want the truth. Just bring me the truth. And we kind of
Yeah.
all got led here. That's how we all found each other, was kind of searching the same way you are. So before you throw in the towel, just dig a little bit deeper and ask him, like take this whole conversation tonight, take it to the Father and ask him. Ask him to reveal himself to you. Ask him if what we're talking about, are we revealing some truth about him? And watch a couple of the
Just
videos.
say, if you're real, if you're really, not the God of the Old Testament, show yourself and you watch.
You know,
I love how Tracy D in the comments is like, "This is the island of misfit toys," and she's like sitting here saying
That's right.
all this shit about like all the scriptures that I've been like displaying here, and I'm not. Doxa is up in the channel. Doxa, what's up, boy?
You know, Doctor?
Yeah, Doxa
Yeah, I
comes in
love
once in a
Doxa.
while.
Doxa's awesome.
Doxa
Me and
comes
Doxa
out.
have had many conversations about all the things that I've talked to you guys
Yeah.
about tonight.
Oh, that's awesome.
And Cypress, just so you know, Tracy's not against you at all. She's just, we're used to
She's
people
with
coming
you.
in and
Yeah.
like Tim says, like ripping us apart. So Tracy's our girl that kind of looks up the scriptures, and she knows a lot about stuff. So when she said that we're the misfit toys, we are. We don't fit in
She's
with
talking
anything.
about all
So
of us.
that's what she
Yeah.
means by that. So you may fit in exactly. Yeah.
I wanted to bring up one thing. Sometimes you can be looking or paying attention in class for longer to someone else, but the other person just get it faster. And I only bring that up to say, I don't think that Father is revealing himself to people based off of how much they're sweating when they're looking and how hard they call themselves looking. Because a lot of us, we call ourselves looking honestly and genuinely, but we're just looking to win an argument at some point at first. So when we stop doing that, I think when he goes by how sincere you're looking, how earnestly and genuine, and then he reveals himself to you. Even if you don't have access to books or translations, he'll reveal himself to you.
So true, Tim. So true.
Well, I wouldn't even say it's about books and translations like in my aspect of my life. I would say that it's about the fact that like it's relatively available in my life and like around everybody that I know, but they don't want to study. And the people that don't want to study and I school them because I studied, then they look at me like I'm the failure because I studied. And I get sick and tired of it because I'm like, I studied. I know what I'm talking about. I know everything that you don't know. Why would you not hear me out on what I'm literally telling? Like I'm literally I understand like the very God that you love, right? The very God that you love is the very God that you hate at the same time, right? But the fact is literally Jesus is the one God that you hate. He literally is that
See,
God.
The one that
we
they
don't.
hate.
That's
Lucifer.
not how
That's
it is for us.
the
But,
one
I
they
mean, that
hate
might
is
be the other
Yahweh.
guys, but not for us.
The one that most
Yeah.
people hate is Yahweh. People blame the Father for all the troubles and everything else. They never ever blame the devil. They don't blame Yahweh. We're in Satan's construct here. It says artist has done a teaching that we're in Cato Cosmos. We're in hell. We're in a level of hell. And our way out of here is through Jesus Barabba and finding the true Father. So when people say they hate God and everything, they're talking about they hate Yahweh. And Yahweh is the God of the Old Testament who did all the evil deeds. But our Father is the true Father is not dualistic. In him is love and light, in him is no darkness. And he's our way out of here. He came to pay a ransom to get us out of here.
That's First John 1, or what? First John 5, First John 1, verse 5, where it says, "In him there's no darkness at all." I might be a little bit
Yeah.
short or too far along.
As well, you can study and study and study, and like I read so many different books outside the Bible, and you can study and study and study and still not find the truth if your heart isn't wanting to know His truth. If you're still like searching and wanting to know what the world's truth is and this and that, you're going to get the world's truth. But if you want the real truth, you've got enough knowledge. You don't need any more knowledge. You're bang on stuff. What you need is just to be asking for His truth, and then I bet you're going to see miracles coming in your life.
I was speaking earlier today about the difference between knowledge and wisdom. And a lot of people, the first thing they want is knowledge, and then as they get older, of course, they realize wisdom is better. But then I think there's something that's above both of those, and it's truth, and that's the only thing that really
That's right.
matters.
I think so
And I
too.
think that's, I think the spirit of truth is like you and I were talking today, Tim, is the comforter.
It's
You
right.
know, everybody says the Holy Spirit, the Holy Spirit. I don't believe that, like the word holy. I mean, everything I've ever seen about it isn't good. And he says he to pray to him in spirit and truth. I think and he said he'd send the comforter. I think the comforter is
The spirit of truth.
the spirit of truth.
Yeah. They replaced the names of they put God, which means death, over life, but it's
Yeah,
supposed to be life.
yeah,
Jesus said so. His character say so. So why are we not saying so? You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And they do
Yeah,
the same thing.
I totally agree. I mean, what I know where it is in the Bible. Like it's John 8:32. The truth shall set you free. Not make you free, set you free.
Right. Do you know how much peace comes from knowing what we've found out? Because we're not
Yeah,
worried
do you
about
know how
being.
much peace I've had being an atheist? Like, what are you talking about? I know what I'm talking about. Like, literally, I have had so much peace knowing all the but I've never met people like you. I've never met people
Yeah.
like this panel. But
Hmm.
I've met people like you guys that are atheists as well. That
I
discuss the
guess we just
Bible.
didn't get that far. I think maybe we just asked that the one thing that you haven't maybe asked yet, which is for His truth, not the God of this world, because people think the God of like in the Bible is the God, the Creator, but He's not. So everybody's been wanting from Him, and to tell you the truth, Yahweh will give you whatever you want, but He'll also take it away from you. Where the Father, he doesn't give you like he will help you out in this world, but at the same time he tells you not to worry about you know uh, hoarding up treasures in this world, because the treasures that he's going to give you is not in this world, it's not of this world, it's of heaven. So he will help you. Trust me, I know I've had help, and it was instant. um, there's no doubt in me that he's there, because there was something that I couldn't quit, and he instantly, like, done and over and gone. And I tried for years. So,
I don't know. I've never gotten that help.
well,
Have you
watch the
sincerely asked for it? Yeah,
videos.
have you sincerely
Yeah.
asked for it and sought him above all else?
Yeah, I've like cried myself to sleep over the truth, the God, the real
Yeah.
truth, the Most High, everything that you guys are talking about. Like I could share something literally right now on this live of what I've witnessed, that I drew myself of seeing an actual angel. Like there's so many things I could share, but like. Why would I? Like, no one believes me. No one accepts me. No one cares. Like, I've done everything I possibly can to accept this God, accept this Lord, accept this Jesus. Like,
Well, I think that
there's nothing that has
you
ever been
have.
said or refuted to me that is substantial evidence that I am worthy of him. And then not only that, like, that's the way I look at it too. Like
Cypress.
I've reached out and you're not even like reaching out to me, then all right, cool. You're not even worthy of me to even worship you anymore. So
Don't think
then
no
I
cap.
don't. So then I'm at that point where I just like I don't. And I
My
don't
I
care.
father,
think you found the right place, Cypress. I think you found people that understand you. I think you are in the right place.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know.
Just keep looking.
Our Father doesn't command worship. That's Yahweh who commands the worship. The only two commandments that Jesus ever gave were love your neighbor as yourself and love him. That's it. Yahweh is the one who wants to be worshipped.
Yeah, I can get that. He is the only one who wants to be worshipped.
For sure. I mean,
According to the text, he literally is the only one who wants to be worshipped.
he does, and he is going to imitate. He is going to imitate the Father to get that, and he's cast a spell on the entire world. The entire world is calling themselves Christians, and they're constantly using Jesus Christ, or they've even dropped the Jesus, and now they're just calling him the Christ. The book of Revelation is called the Revelation of Jesus Christ. So it's the revealing of Yahweh. Yahweh's boy is Jesus Christ. So it's literally telling us the revealing of the Christ. It's not our Father's book, and that's why we're trying to find Jesus's words within the book to debunk all the stuff that you don't like about it either. We're doing the same thing.
There's a lot that I don't like about that book.
But there's a lot that I don't
There's
like about
pretty
it
much
either.
everything. Exactly.
All of it. Yeah, we don't like it either. So I mean, you came up on the panel kind of by coincidence tonight, but I think we agree with on subjects more than we disagree on subjects. Like there was a reason that you found your way here, to come up on the panel, and
I literally like here's the deal. Like I just scroll through TikTok. Like I'm just like, all right, when I'm bored, I'm just like, all right, well, I'll just scroll through TikTok.
Yep.
And like, let me find some Christian panel that is spewing some BS that I'm just like, all right, well, that's bullshit. You know what I mean? And then I just dive in for a minute or two or three or four or five or whatever, 10 minutes, whatever I want to divulge my time to. And I'm just telling them, like, I just type in like da 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 this and then I get kicked. All right, whatever. Next one. And then I just keep on going and going and going, just because I'm bored, like And then like people invite me. Some
Well,
people
you're bored,
invite
but
me
you
up.
also
Not just
know
you guys,
you also
but
have
some
a bit
people
of
will invite
truth,
me up, and then I'll say whatever I want to say, and I'll tell them like the information that I know, and they're like, well, how can you substantiate and what validity do you have? And not now I'm speaking for them. They don't actually have those big words, validity, substantiate, whatever. It doesn't matter. But anyways, I'll tell them what I want to tell them, and they're like, oh, Cypress, you don't know what the hell you're talking about, da 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 da. And this is just typical Christian speak for me. And I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. You guys can't even vilify or you make me the villain. You vilify me for knowing the fucking Bible. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, I would love for you to go and just check out the videos and then come back and talk to us like another night. That would be great.
That'd be great, Cypress. I think you'd enjoy them.
What videos am I supposed to go look at?
Can I send you the
host?
link? Like
Abba's?
after the live, can I send you the link of
I just
it's
posted,
scriptural truth?
I just
It's
posted.
called
Oh, you're
scriptural.
sending me it like through TikTok. I got you. I'm not backing out of this to like go to my like homepage
Yeah, if you-
to look at whatever you're sending me.
No, of course, yeah. Can you screenshot the page right now and the website's on it?
I just posted the link in the
Wait,
comments.
I can screenshot the page, but it just says Revelation chapter 2 on the main.
No. Cypress in the chat. I just posted that
Oh, in the comments?
in the comments. I just posted the YouTube channel
Yeah, in the comments.
in the comments in this chat right here.
I don't see anything for the.
Yeah, it
comments.
says scriptural truth.
HTTPS. I just posted it. Abba's daughter.
I'm not seeing it.
I
No,
don't see it either.
I'll send
what we
it
can do
to
is
you
just send it
anyways.
to you in a message. One of us, Aline, can do that, I guess.
Yeah, I'll send it to him. Yeah.
I honestly think that TikTok won't do it for you. Like,
If you don't
I
mind.
used to host my own TikTok lives because I would like debate Christians, and you guys, Define actually, you know what? Since you're here, since I honestly used to host my own Christian or my own lives. Define Christian. What's a Christian? Are you guys Christian? Like,
No,
what's up?
No, we're not a
no.
Christian.
No, it's a follower of the Christ.
Yeah.
Follower of the Christ, right? That's what that was. Was that not easy for all of you to answer?
Yep.
Yeah,
That
very
was so
easy.
easy. Correct. And it is literally, it's literally
The
you
hardest
guys.
thing for them to answer. Yeah.
Huh?
I said it's hard for a Christian to answer.
It is, yes, it is so
Yeah.
hard for them to answer. But they don't
Cypress, I
know.
just sent you the link on your messages on here, or in your profile. I sent you a private message with the
All right,
link.
cool. Yeah.
Cypress, I
No,
also
I'll
wanted to
look
say
it
something
up.
to you before you go as well. Because I saw your frustration about not, when you said you cried at night and you wanted to know the truth. I just
Well,
wanted
I
to
mean, like,
say,
I like, I looked, man. I searched. I never said I cried at night, but like, I searched. I searched
well, I'm
really
sorry
hard.
for my bad for adding that in. My bad.
No, you're good.
But
You're good. You're good.
well, I have though, and I've searched too, and I understand. I believe you when you say you searched. Uh, I think even as a person that has plants himself, every plant grow in its season. They bloom in its own season. So for some plants it might take a year, some two, some three, and if you apply that to us, it might take 20 years, it might take 40, it might take 60. I'll just be happy to get there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I get you. I don't know. I just, 26 years for me studying, man, and like doing everything I've been doing. I'm just like, there ain't no God. There's no God. Like, he's never
Cypress, I'm
showed
almost
up for
60
me
years
at all.
old.
He's never showed up
I'm
for
almost 60
me
years
at
old, so I
all.
know what you mean. You know,
Yeah.
Sometimes our Father shows up and we don't realize it. I remember somebody told me one time, this was years ago, that I didn't think Father was with me, and she wanted me to, like, throughout the entire day, count the moments and the things that went in my favor. And she's like, I don't care if that means you hit a green light on every traffic signal on your way to work. Like, Father is doing miraculous things that you can't always see.
The only
You
thing
know,
I,
he
I
brought.
I'll make a testimony real quick, and I'm not trying to interrupt, but I will make this testimony, Abba. But like, go ahead and say what you go ahead and do.
Well, I was just gonna say, I think he shows up and you're just not seeing it. You're expecting to see like this big sign up in the sky or something, and he shows up every day. You woke up this morning, you're breathing, you have food in your stomach, you probably have a place to rest tonight. That you have to look at the blessings and the things that you do have, and
You overlooked them.
yeah, and not overlook all the positive and all the things that you do have going for you.
I
You
don't
know.
like and if you guys knew the half of like what, like if you knew my whole life, you would never say that I overlook anything, and I don't. I like 100%
we'd
don't.
love to hear your testimony. We'd love to hear your testimony if you want to talk to us about it.
And I understand that, and I'll give you a small little portion of that. The
Okay.
only time that I have, and I'll give you like my actual testimony at a future date, but I'll give you a small little portion of the fact that like I don't see like I don't. I'll just tell you this. I'll tell you this, okay? The only time that I actually ever see this God. Now, you might laugh at me, but like literally, like I'm being serious. I'm not. This isn't like me trolling you. This isn't me trolling like all the other Christians that are bullshit and have never studied. But like this is me being for real, for real. And I've never actually expressed this to anybody. And I'm being for real, for real. The only time that I actually ever see this actual God being real is I'm a professional trim carpenter. Like, that's what I do for I own my own company as a professional trim carpenter. I don't know if any of you know what that is. I build
Yes, I
cabinets
do.
in homes.
Yep.
Anything and everything that's in
Yeah.
your house is built by me. That's lumber related.
Custom made. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Anything,
Okay.
correct. Anything and everything is custom made by me. If one of my employees say, I need this board measured, or this board, if they call out a measurement to me and they say, I need this board cut to da 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 da, and I say, okay, cool. All right, let's say it's, sorry about the phone, but like, let's say it's like 44 and 7/8. If I pick up a board and I go to take it to my saw and I go to cut it and it's already 44 and 7/8, that to me is like, how is that possible? Especially if it's the same board that I've already been cutting on for multiple cuts, and they call out the last cut and they say, I need it to be that cut. To me, it makes no sense for them to say that cut. And I'm like, how is that possible? And so I give it to them, and it fits perfectly.
Yeah, I think you should at least stop calling yourself an atheist. You know.
Yeah. Father's with you. Like
I'm
you're.
just saying, like, that's the only thing, though, that has ever been in my life. That's the only thing. That's it.
Cypress. There's a lot of people on this panel, and in this live that have been through some horrific things,
Yeah.
and we can say the same, like the same thing.
We all
But
have, each and every one of us have our own
we
unique
know.
story and some
Yeah.
back stuff and some trauma and some things that
Yeah.
we've gotten through and gone through to
Which
get
would
to
make
where we
you
are.
question: Is he there? Is he there? But he's there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like,
Well, he
That's
was
a
with
little
you. If you're
weird.
making perfect cuts like that,
Yeah, that's what
he's
I'm
giving you
saying.
that gift, the
It's
skill.
weird.
Exactly. Yeah. Who
I'll
gave
pick
you the
up board.
gift? Who gave you
I'll
the
pick up
skill?
board. They'll tell me what they need, and I'm like, and I'll measure it, with my tape measure, and I'm like, how is that possible? That it's literally, and it's square, it's
Yeah.
like it's square,
He gave you a
square. Like
gift.
there's no other way
Yeah.
that this could be square, and I haven't cut it with my saw. That's a professional saw that makes shit square. How is this possible?
Yeah.
Like Tracy said in the comments, God is trying to get your attention.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think that's pretty spot on, Tracy.
Yeah.
But it happens like 2 or 3 times a week. Like at least 2 or 3 times a week it happens. And I just like, there's no way. There's no way that's possible.
Cypress, you know that he knows people's hearts, right? And even if you say all the things,
Yeah, I know, and that's the thing. But that's the thing
atheist.
too. I also know the Bible, like Romans 9:15. Like Romans 9:15 fucked me up, fucks everybody up. And when they actually read it,
Yeah.
Romans was written by Paul.
read it. Like it shouldn't mess anybody up.
Well, we know anything that's written by Paul, you can question, right?
Yeah,
So
you can, because they're Paulinians. They're not
Well, they all worship Paul, like all the churches, like it's not what Jesus
They
said, it's what
all
Paul
do.
said.
All of them. Every single
Yeah.
church that's on a corner block within a square
Yeah.
radius, they all worship Paul. They don't worship.
They
They don't
worship
worship
Paul or they
like
worship
the
Peter.
Most High.
Christians worship or Paul, and most Catholics worship Peter. And the two work together. We
Every
worship.
church.
So what I was go ahead.
Go
Oh
ahead,
no,
I
Pete.
go
was
ahead.
just gonna say, so when I said about your heart, he knows your heart. Even if you're an atheist, even if you act like you're an atheist, there's something inside of you that made you search those scriptures, something inside of you that makes you keep talking to these Christians. There's something inside of you, and that's the heart, and he knows the heart. So there's something in you that he's trying to get your attention. So do not give up, because I think he knows there's something in you.
Because he brought you here. If you were really
That's
truly
right.
known and you were really truly an atheist, you wouldn't be even searching. You wouldn't be even like looking at other Christian channels and trying to talk,
Exactly.
you know. So there's something
I
inside
think
of
you just see
you.
the lies. You
Yeah.
just see the lies.
And
So,
we do
I
too.
do. I see all the lies.
And we
I
do
see
too.
all
That's
of
exactly.
what
them.
we're trying to expose. We're trying to expose the lies and show the truth.
Deuteronomy 24:16. No man, no man, no man is going to be unalived for your sins but yourself.
That's Yahweh, though. Deuteronomy is Yahweh's book. It's not our Father's book.
Yeah, but he's also dualistic, and then he tells you later on that you are responsible for your son's actions.
That's what I'm
He
saying.
unalive.
But that's what
Yeah,
I'm
he's very
saying. But at the
dualistic.
same time,
Yeah.
like that's like for me that's real. There's
Yeah, but
no
Jesus
man that's
didn't
gonna
say he was
die
a
for your own sins but yourself.
Jesus did
Right.
not say he was a human sacrifice. He said he was a ransom.
No.
A ransom's different than a sacrifice. A
Yeah, and
ransom is a price paid to a kidnapper.
Philippians 1:31.
Yeah, but Paul, aka Sheol, Saul and Sheol in Hebrew are the same word.
Anybody else have questions before I read the YouTube questions? Going once, going twice. All right, so let's see. Let me see. That was not really a question, but they put a question mark on it. Let's move along. Moving along.
Tim,
So Nikki,
just
yeah.
Tim, just explain to Cyprus what we're doing here, because when we do the
Oh,
videos, we have people commenting.
yeah. So we post it to YouTube, and we have people that only catch our videos on YouTube. Later on, but they have questions as well. So we like to get all the questions, not just the ones in the chat down here, but also on YouTube.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So Nikki, Abba daughter, she should be in the Discord soon. But she says, Baraba says not to call anyone father, but we have one father, and he is in heaven. So what about our fleshly fathers? Does anybody want to go first?
I think they intentionally misled people by having them call their dads that name. I think that it should have been dad or, you know.
I agree. Yeah.
Mom and
Well,
dad
it used to be
instead
Papa
of
or something,
mother and
right?
father.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pops
Pop.
or
Yep.
yeah.
That's exactly what I was going to say. So Nikki has more questions, but I'm gonna get all the one on my screen first, and then I'm gonna get the one on my paper. So forgive me, Nikki. Um, I think there's only like maybe one or two more anyway on the computer. The phrase "poacher turned gamekeeper" comes to mind with the artist. She is someone who knows the enemy's moves. And Mo, she is a great asset. See, I saw the question mark, and I think I think this is Seven Egg. Just talking about you, artist. Let me see.
Yeah, what did they say?
He said the phrase poacher turned gamekeeper comes to mind with the artist. She is someone who knows the enemy's moves and MO. She is a great asset. Also, isn't an asp a poisonous snake? And that was with
That's
the question mark.
I don't know on that. That's weird. Do
Yeah.
y'all understand that?
You guys gotta help me out when you guys are
Well,
writing them.
it sounds like the person is saying that artist is like, when you're searching, you're like a poacher, like you're getting out there, getting all the information, and pulling everything in, getting. But I don't know what the venomous snake was.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's weird.
It is a little bit weird. Anyway, maybe they can, if once they rewatch this back, they can give us better clues
Yeah,
than that.
clarify that question for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the only other one we have is a long one, and it's like not really a question. It's just somebody going in on us. So, um, and I think it's a lady or no, a man. I'm sorry. Says I'm really surprised that you're still using the false name Jesus Christ. You know, if he actually came in the name of the Father, then why does Jesus mean pig in Latin? And in Hebrew, that name means horse. That has absolutely nothing to do with the Father or his name. Please go and research the Council of Nicaea, and you will see exactly where that name originated from. This
That's
is very
because Jesus
important.
is literally the Lucifer.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
Sorry.
Reading a comment, please. No, you're okay. Um. So, and she said, I truly don't understand exactly why that the fact the letter J is only 500 years old isn't a problem for most Christians. I'm just appalled by that, to be honest. You really have to go much deeper in your studies, ma'am. You must get past the letter J, and people, places, and things that contain that letter in the Bible are all incorrect. The Father's name is Yahuwah, and the Son is Yahusha. Yahusha means Yahuwah is salvation or Yahuwah saves. So yes, he did come in his father's name, just as he said that he did. Yahunan, talking about John, chapter 5, verse 43, as you all call, um, I guess you meant to say recall, in which is incorrect. But sadly, most of the world, including you, are still under Constantine's spell until this very day, and it's really sad. Please don't take what I'm saying to you the wrong way. I just want you to see it. That's all. Much love and always praise Yahuwah to the fullest.
Well, she may not
I'm just gonna.
realize that Constantine is a Jewish name. For one thing, Constantine was a Jew. She might not realize that Nero was a Jew, that Vespasian was a Jew, Josephus was a Jew, Paul was a Jew. All of them were Romans too. And that yes, it's true that the I was changed to J across the board for all of the literature. You won't find Yahushua anywhere in a manuscript. I don't care where you go. You can look at Tom Shims, that's from 1400. If you think that's accurate, then there's a problem there. Why do we only have a Hebrew manuscript starting in the 1400s? There's a lot of problems here. It's like the only name we have, there's one occurrence of the word Jesus in Mark that is written out other than a nomosekim, and a nomosekim is initials. So when she finds a manuscript with the name Yahushua in it, please send me a link because I want to see it. Because she won't find one, I guarantee you, because I looked and looked for years and I never found one.
And I'd like to say she's into the Hebrew part of it, and a few of us in here, we were in that, and we've done the studies to come out of that, to see past that, and now we're seeing the truth. They're still caught in that, the Hebrew movement, which is a big deception.
Because Jesus was not Hebrew. He was sent. He was not born. He is of no nationality. So
Yeah.
all the names with the Y names, those are all part of Yahweh and his boys.
So not to make it a thing swinging contest, But I think you actually should consider some of the research we have done because you praise Yahuwah, and Jesus said that all that's come before me have been thieves and liars. Yahuwah is a one. He is a someone, and he has come before Jesus. So he had his time to demonstrate that he is the one true, and he failed. So I think you should consider that at least, and consider Joshua 24:19 that artist read earlier in the live. Hopefully you watched the whole thing, and you will see how the Lord, which is Yahuwah, does not forgive sins and does not keep his promises.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to be a smarty, but I did research all that. I just don't. I cannot find that name anywhere. That's another big agenda thing just to keep people confused. There are no Hebrew manuscripts of the New Testament.
Yeah. I say a lot of the same things, but it's because they keep applying, and like it's not being heard. People are not applying it to their belief system, and application is everything. Why learn something if you're not gonna apply it?
I also like when I hear Yahweh, Yahushua, Yahuwah, all those different names. I can add Allah, Buddha, you know, all the different deities. Like I can put them all in that same group. Um, of because so many people think the Old Testament God is one of those, and every single one of those comes under Yahweh. And we're talking about the Father in heaven, not the God of the world.
I'm gonna help you out, Ma. Like literally, it's 72 of them. It's 72 of them,
Right,
and it's crazy that it's 72 of them, isn't it?
right. Yeah,
There's
there's
72
72 under
names.
Yahweh. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
HVH is the tetragrammaton that makes up the 72 following, and Yahweh's at the top. He's the
right.
one in charge.
Yep.
All right. Well, guess that means we can get to the ones on paper, which is basically just Nikki. Yep.
Okay.
A couple comments I had earlier, but I get to those later. Let me see. Sorry, I'm eating a fruit snack over here. Let me. About the verse where it says, "We will be thrown in jail and put on trial." Our interpretation was it Baraba or JC? Yeah, you covered it earlier, and it came to mind too. You even have a different translation, don't you?
Oh, for being put in jail?
Yeah, we were having a talk about that.
I want to say that's JC, I think. Because I think that'll be coming from the Noahide laws, you know.
Hmm.
And the people that will not be put in jail will be the ones that think that he was just a prophet and a man. And there'll be a lot of those that'll renege on him being actual divine, but in the earliest manuscripts he is called the only begotten Theos, not son. So Theos means divine or God.
Yeah, it came up because she she kind of threw back in my face my and let me not say it like that. Nikki's sweet, y'all. She is very sweet.
Yes, she is.
Okay. But she was like, Tim, you said it yourself. You said that you would grab your cats and you would pick them up by the torso. The arms just hanging there, and they still got that same little cat expression that don't even change. And that's going to be me when I'm being carried out by Father when He's taking me to safety. The same way I would do for my cats if the house was on fire. And I'm like, yeah, yeah. And I told her I just prepare for the worst. But I hope for the best. And if we are thrown in jail, I told her that we may be separated from each other at some point, and that it's important to get everyone to understand the nature of the Father, so that they don't be deceived while they separated from their brothers that can say, "Hey, why this? Look at this, Tim. Look at that. That's not Father." You know what I'm saying? They have help from the family. So I think that's what that came up from. What do you
Yes,
guys thought?
because if we get thrown in jail or whatever, we certainly don't want, like, and you're going to be troubled. We're going to have all kinds of things happen, and we certainly don't want to be looking or getting confused again and saying, "Well, this is the Father that's doing this," because it's not. He's not doing these things. It's Yahweh and His boys doing this stuff. We have to remember the Father's character and remember where we're going when we're done here. This time, we're going home. So
And don't be mad at me, Nikki, but free will comes with the cost. And I think the fall of mankind already explains that. So not that I don't think that Father would come and get us out of danger, but sometimes the enemy is directly coming to get you. Not that some disaster may just befall you, but that the enemy is coming to do you harm, you know, and they have the free will to do so. So we're in a world where we are subject to those things. So I don't mean to sound like I'm contradicting myself, but I hope that he would come grab me like my cats and get me out of it. But I'm prepared to be unalive before he come get me, because I am not my body. My body is just a vehicle. So they're not really unaliving me. They're just stopping me from using my earthly vehicle.
that's right. This is just a earthly suit that we wear.
Yeah. So Father's still gonna come get me and take me up. You know. That's why we don't have fear. Because no matter what they can do to us with their free will, we can overcome it by just coming to life. And that's what Jesus was teaching. That's what he did. And if he said if they're gonna do it to me, how much more so would they do it to you? My servants, my followers, my friends. So those are all my proofs that we have to be prepared for the worst. All right, Nikki, you spent a lot of time on the first one, but that's okay. Um, Let me see the story of David's son rebelling, and how he tries to take over. And I wasn't really too familiar with where this one was at, so I'm gonna need y'all help on this one.
Was
What was
there
the
more to
question?
the question other than
Uh,
that?
well, she wants to know what's our interpretation always, and is it Barab or JC? Sorry,
And what was the
it's the story of David's son rebelling and trying to take over his household, or that's why I was like, I need help, because she had to paraphrase it for me because I couldn't find it in the comments on the. She posted it in the wrong video and I couldn't find it.
Tracy says it's the Old Testament, so neither.
Really, that's what I thought too. Okay,
And being that it's the Old Testament, David is of Yahweh, is Yahweh's boy.
Right. I agree.
That's true. That's
maybe I'm
true. Yeah.
misunderstanding her question too, so I'm hoping. I'm hoping that's the case, because Nikki, it sound
I
like you would
can't
know
wait
that one
until she's
already.
here and she can ask herself.
I know, right? She in the same
Pretty
time
soon.
zone as me. Y'all know that?
Yeah.
Even though she's in Canada, I'm putting your business out there
Oh, is
now,
she in
Nikki. Let me
Canada? Where is
stop.
she in
I
Canada?
know. I want to tell her you need to go find a Lynn.
Where is she in Canada?
I want to say Quebec.
Okay, I think it was Montreal. I think I saw that. Yeah.
I
Still
thought
quite a ways away,
Montreal was
about 4 hours or whatever.
Y'all
isn't Montreal.
continue to pray for Shannon too, because he didn't make it on the
Yeah,
live, so he's on the road, trying to get to his
that's right.
destinations with his new RV. So y'all continue praying for him for
Yes,
safe journeys.
Will do.
we will.
We love you,
Yeah.
Shannon, if you see this later.
Yeah. Love you, brother.
Yeah.
Um. Oh, I guess this one was connected with that last question too. She said after his son is unalive, the pain David felt with the question mark.
That would be That would be Yahweh, anyways, because Yahweh's the you know.
Yeah, you know, and the good thing with Nikki is she's a faithful follower, so she gonna straighten this out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, so we already did the Barabbas said not to call anyone father, right? So we can skip that one. So we got two more. Anyone anyone that causes a little one to stumble. That passage. She wants to know our take on that, and was it Barabbas or JC?
JC is for causing people to stumble, so I would say that that's Barabbas.
Yeah, I think that maybe she was questioning it because of
The
the
millstone around the neck and being thrown.
yeah, and
Yeah, that's a hard one.
well, it's not. See, Jesus is not saying I I'm going to do this. Yahweh has done that in the Old Testament all day long,
Right. That's the way I
but
look at it.
Jesus is not saying I'm doing this. He's saying like when he told the lady, "Go and sin no more before something worse befall you." He's not saying like I'm going to do it, but that
That's
the
right.
enemy is out there lurking. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and that's what I feel like he means. What he means in that one as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Me too.
And I may be wrong. It's not like I analyzed which one was speaking at the time, but I think our original we use it to prove that Yahweh is the devil because how he treat his children by dashing them against the rocks and stuff. Um, so the last one is sending demons into pigs. From when he what's the word I'm looking for? I'm lost of words right now. Man, when he freed the boy of all those demons,
Yeah,
and and they went to go into pigs, and the pigs jumped off the cliff.
yeah,
She wants to know our input, and is it Barabbas or JC?
JC.
JC, I think.
That's what I just said. JC.
Where was that? Was that Mark? Mark?
I can't remember what chapter that's in though.
I want to say I want to say Mark 5, but I think I'm wrong. I think that's too early.
Yeah, I agree with Tracy. The comment we are legion.
Yep.
That's also the multiple names, the 72 names.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what? That's another pigs, man. Like, because the other guy, remember, or not a guy? I don't know if it was a guy. The one that was against us on YouTube, saying how the name means pig
Jesus'
in
name
Latin,
was right.
and
Yeah.
then he cast them into the pigs, and the pigs fell and stuff. And then they always talk about putting the pig on the altar, right? And the abomination of desolation. Might be some interesting things there.
Hmm.
Yeah, one of the Messianic rabbis, uh, Iqbal Shapir, or whatever his name is, calls Jesus the kosher pig.
Wow.
Yeah.
There
Wow.
you go. Yes,
So was
Jupiter
that a
worship.
mocking of? Was that a mocking of Barabbas, or was that?
He says that
Um,
they'll realize in the end that JC was the real Messiah, and all of them will worship him or will follow him. Uh, when
okay.
they call him for the Mashiach. He also went on. He was on Ben Hill. I saw part of a clip of his that the guy did where he was showing where Peter and Paul set up JC as a psyop. Yeah, a secret. They called him
Hmm.
secret agents.
Okay.
I had some comments from earlier, like when you were talking about Paul earlier, about like why would a demon know Paul? And Paul even says that he has a demon that torments him daily. And I think he even called him the thorn in his side as well.
Yeah, and see, the Moses met Yahweh at a burning thorn bush, and then Paul says he has a thorn in his side from Satan. You know.
See, um, dang,
Yeah,
I don't even
JC
know
was
what
James
this.
the Just. That was their Messiah, Tracy.
Yeah, the translation curse him was for. Oh, you brought up something about like the translation was curse him, but my phone went out and I didn't get catch like who you were talking about.
Oh, Paul, when
Is
he
that?
said, "If anybody teach another Jesus, let him be accursed," and that didn't come from Barabbas. That came from JC. I'm sure. You know.
Oh, okay. So I'll just.
Yeah, because Barabbas wouldn't curse anyone.
Yeah, exactly. Just like the fig tree. I don't think Barabbas would have cursed the fig tree either.
No, I don't either.
Right. If Barabbas would have touched the fig tree, it would have healed it.
Right?
That's another thing that happened in Rome too in the first century during the time period. They had a sacred fig tree, and it was it withered and died in that same time period.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess while I'm thinking about it, what do you think about? Because you know how I keep saying how there's four verses that says that there was someone hung on a tree, and not a cross, and it's definitely a different word when you look at the translations. So, have you heard about the dogwood tree? About how it's I guess it's like cursed because it's the one that supposedly that the Messiah died on. And this, I mean, the supposed Messiah, because I'm thinking that it could be Barabbas, right? That died on the tree. And and then even the flower that it makes, it looks like someone hanging.
Yeah, it does.
Kind of strange, right?
And that description of unaliving somebody on the tree is in Leviticus. It identically matches the description of the way he was on the cross and unalived. Actually means put on display.
Crazy. What else did I have? I think I got one more. Oh, the silver for the books that they were supposedly burning, but they were actually profiting from. That you said. It reminds me of the silver that they took for the word or for Baraba, which like books have words in them. See like a significance or a similarity there.
Yeah, because Oregon mentions that they changed the name from Jesus Bar Abba to just Jesus in the Gospels. hmm
And you're saying that's what they were doing. Yeah, I feel
Probably
like
when they were rewriting, they were writing, changing the name too.
I think that's what they were putting God everywhere too. That's my opinion. I believe I was trying to say earlier to Cyprus that they're in Yahweh's own law. He wants two or three witnesses, right, of an account, but he only has one account of his creation. He don't even have two or three, but of the Genesis 1 and John 1 matches, saying that sound made everything, a voice, a word, sentences. So it matches, even in Yahweh's law, it will match that he's a liar and that he didn't create everything and that he's a liar from the Genesis, like Jesus said.
Cypress, you're allowed to speak if you like. You've got like your comments in the comment section, but you can actually say it if you want.
Yeah, I'm done with my paper too. I'm balling this bad boy up.
Someone else wants to come up too.
Oh, look at that. A warrior for Abba.
Hey.
Hey, going off.
Hey,
How are you?
Now approaching Euclid
all
City.
right.
Stop. McFadden Good.
Transfer point for route
Let's see.
37 and
You on
62.
TikTok?
Please remain seated until the bus comes to a full and complete stop.
Oh, I didn't know what
Can
that
you
sound was.
turn? Yeah, can you turn the background noise off so we can hear your voice?
The dog. Hold on.
No, his connection's bad. We might lose him.
It's got one bar there.
No, you got one. You
Oh
hanging
no.
on,
Do we
hanging
not
on like
know
Mufasa.
Warrior for ABBA? Do we not know Warrior for ABBA? Is that Eddie?
Is this Ed?
I thought it was, but
It might be Ed, I
Oh
think.
yes, that's a good question, Marie. Marie says, when you see Christians being persecuted,
oh, it's gone.
how do we reconcile that with us following the truth? What do you guys think?
Oh, I think it was Ed. I think he dropped though.
Yep.
Um, I think that there are some Christians sitting in the pews that hear Jesus' voice. They don't know how to discern the two different Jesuses, if that makes any sense. Because you have like these little grandmas that do the work that displays the nature of Father, you know, and you'll see them clinging to the right verses, and quoting the right verses, but they don't
Mhm.
truly understand. I think that's why he said, don't pull out the wheat when you pull, be careful not to pull the tares and pull the wheat with them, you know.
So, and she also says, and I have my thoughts too, but she also says, so what do you think of, because he did say that they'll be persecuted for his namesake, right? And
Right.
then, and there you go, Christians being persecuted, right? But, and then Marie said, won't we be hated? Or just those who believe Christ? So,
Well, you go in there and you tell a Christian group that you believe that Jesus Barabbas was the real Jesus, and see how quick you get thrown out of there. And that
yeah.
using the Christ word is wrong, and they won't even hear you out. You'll just be tossed and blocked. Because that's
Well, my
happened to me a lot. I try to approach it in different ways and gently, but it doesn't matter how you approach it. They don't want to hear the message at all. It's like,
I play Uno reverse card on that, and I say, you know, he said the road was going to be narrow as well, and Christianity is the broadest road I see out there. You know,
that's true.
so there's that. Also, like a lot of the times they show us persecutions. You're looking at it on video. You're looking at it with someone putting a subtitle on the bottom of it to say what's going on instead of you understanding what's going on. And if you've seen some of the unalive videos, right? Um, the I don't want to say it because
Green screen.
yeah, yeah. But anyway, the if even those they're speaking another language and like you have to try to catch what they're saying and like were you gonna say that are they asking them do they worship Christ and then they say yes I do and you see what I'm saying and then they do it to them like I don't see that. I've seen them. I used to watch them. You know, uh, I don't see that, and I've seen a lot of crisis actor videos. I've seen the website where you can apply to be a crisis actor. So I think they're faking that. So to keep, I mean, if it's called a web of lies for a reason, then they need to put this lie up to support their other lie. They have to make it seem like Christians are being persecuted in order to get people to follow Christ. So that's my take on it.
There is a section that says something about those who are still remaining here at the very, very end. Um, is it possible? And I'm only putting this out there because there's nothing to say in the Bible, and not that the Bible's anything, but that it's us. But is it possible that it's us that are just we're outside? We seem to be outside of everything. All the Christian beliefs, all the different religions. We
Yeah.
think totally different. Is it possible that we're the ones that are? I don't know how it'll work, but is it the Father protecting us till the end? Like, I'm not really sure, but there's just something about that.
That brings Nikki to mind. With the are we going to be protected the whole time, or is he going to come get us? I can see us being here the whole time and watching all that stuff go down, or maybe we just like freaking come up from the rubble and be like, dang, you know what I'm saying? Again, cat whisker
Well,
sideways.
you know how we all seem to have all this. We have the knowledge of, because of the internet, we have all the knowledge of the past. Like, we don't have everything straight, but the knowledge is there. And each one of us has a little bit different. And we are here in the present. But if we're still here till the end, we'll have all this stuff, all this information. Are we witnesses for Jesus in the end? Like to when we're
That artist.
I think that's kind of what we're doing now. I think we're putting the real truth out there, and those that are supposed to see it will see it.
You think we'll be protected all the way to the end?
I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. Yeah,
I
but
don't know.
I'm just saying that there's a possibility, like that we're those people. I don't know,
I can admit
and
that
maybe not.
sometimes I feel like that. Just to be honest, sometimes I feel like I don't worry enough about things. Like with the hurricane that passed recently, I feel
Well, that
like
fear is gone, right?
yeah, I feel like the danger always passes me or misses me just slightly, whatever. I'm always okay. Like if I didn't change anything I was doing, I always look back and I'd be like, man, if I didn't change anything I was doing, I would have been just fine still. So
And
Marie has a
how will
question
they
there.
ask? How would they ask? Like, will they ask Jesus Christ? Do you worship Jesus Christ? Will they ask, do you worship Jesus Barabbas? Will they ask it just Jesus? We don't know.
maybe
Yeah, we
they'll
don't
say,
know
who
that
is your God?
exactly.
Yep.
And if you just say you're just gonna answer, and if you don't say the right thing, you get unalived. And there's no discussing it. There's no talking about it. Like, well, who is
Right.
that? They know what they're there for.
But I think
And
it's in Chronicles too that anybody that does not worship Yahweh is to be unalived. There's a verse on that.
maybe that's why he says, "Don't turn back for anything, but get out of there." When a certain sign happens.
I
To
take
just,
that like when he said, "Don't look back and don't be like Lot's wife." I take that to mean like don't look back to the Old Testament once you figure it out. You know,
mm,
I might be wrong, but that's
I
just
think
kind of a
it can be
feeling
both.
that's a gut feeling I get
Yeah.
when I read it.
Yeah.
Tracy just said to. It depends on how vocal we become. Stay under the radar. Well, um, I think that too. I think there's now. I don't know who said it in the Bible, but there's something that's said about um, being unalive in for His sake or His name. And the way it read, I took it for, stay out of all the other stuff. Don't get involved in all the earthly stuff. But whenever the time comes, as we're doing right now, but even in the very end, to speak up for Him. And not like, I don't think that we should really be political. I don't think we should be involved in all of the worldly stuff. So if we stay under the radar, like you say, Tracy, we have more of a chance of being here longer to be able to get more people to hear this.
Yeah, like we got to move like detectives because as you see, with anyone that preaches love and life, and they become very famous and influential, they get unalive. They're gonna stop
Yeah,
them.
And if you do all the political stuff, like, and you're still doing this, but you're also doing the political stuff, you're going to be more noticed for the political stuff. You're going to be more, the more chances of getting unalived for the political things. Well, he doesn't want that. He wants you, like, if you're going to be unalived, you're going to be unalived because you're getting his word out to people. You're doing his work, you know, not the work of the world.
Yeah. And if I don't, hey, great, that's cherry on top. But I
Yeah,
was ready to.
exactly. Exactly.
Anybody else got questions, comments, concerns?
Oh, we also need to pray for, how you say,
Lana?
Alana, yeah, because her neck is hurt real bad. So if anybody hasn't, isn't on Discord, we have a member, Alana, and she's hurt her neck, and she was requesting prayers.
Yes, we hope you're doing okay,
Absolutely.
Ilana. We hope you come
We
back
will
with
do
good
that.
news in the morning.
Yep, I sure do. I hope she comes back with good news.
Yeah. Love you, sister.
I'd just like to say to Cypress, I think he's still in the comment section. I just, you know, I was glad that you came, and that you heard us out, and I hope that you check out artists' videos on scriptural truth. I think you'll better understand what we're saying here if you listen to some of those videos. But I just think it's great that you come up and talk to us,
Yeah, I think
and I
Father
hope you
was
come.
trying to talk to him tonight through us. It's like
Yeah,
he thinks Father doesn't hear him, but I think Father does.
I'd like to hear his perception of things once he listens to the videos and
I
come
would
back and
too.
talk to us then.
I would
Yeah.
too. Well, guys, if it's going to quieten down like this, I guess we'll call it for tonight. We're at 2.5 hours, our usual. And, you know, I think tonight was great. I really do.
Yeah, it went really well.
Thank you all.
Oh, thank you, everybody. I mean, y'all all contribute and being here is the main thing. The more numbers we have, the better odds of being seen, from this platform. And
Yeah.
Exactly.
I thought we had a foxes in the playpen situation here today. I was like, oh man. But we did
That's
good.
what I thought too, but Cypress proved himself to be different than that, and that's great.
I love all you guys. I hope everybody has a great evening and
Love y'all too.
another great live, guys. Thank you all.
Good night,
Take
everyone.
We'll
care.
talk to you
Love
Good
you
later.
night.
guys.
Night,
Good
guys.
night, guys.